Namaskar. I welcome all of you to the one-day webinar on life skills. Life skills are a complicated set of phenomenon. It's something like we are teaching the centipede how to walk. No. There is this particular centipede which has 100 legs and walks effortlessly, very rhythmically, musically. But if some of its legs are broken or some issue happens, then now there is a physiotherapist or somebody who tries fixing it up. It is very complicated. Similarly, life skill is the final thing which happens out, and if we want to fix up life skills, then we need to have a clear-cut understanding about what are the different components, what are the different domains which needs to be addressed out. So I would like to present myself under 5 headings, let's say. The first would be the definition of intelligence, then the clear-cut definition between 3 terms which includes life skill as well, and then finally a incidence which shows that life skills have been a matter of consideration and education in India, and it's nothing new for us. We just need to relook into ourselves. So I start up. The way I am addressing you, the way you are sitting, or the way we address each other, we address daily life situation, depends much upon the intelligence which we have. Now this intelligence is something which is very tricky and very holistic. The best definition was given by Wechsler, and Wechsler long back in 1944 has defined intelligence as the global capability to think rationally, act purposefully and deal effectively with the environment. So think rationally, act purposefully and deal effectively with the environment. Now this contains almost many skills. If you see, to think rationally, act purposefully and deal effectively with the environment, to do these 3 things, we require out 3 major constructs. These 3 major constructs have often been used interchangeably. Not much of distinction has been drawn, because of which there is a confusion. So the first point was intelligence. The second point was these 3 constructs: adaptive behavior, livelihood skills and life skills. Our topic is on life skills, but adaptive behavior and livelihood skills are so much confused out amongst each other that we need to understand adaptive behavior separately, livelihood skills separately and life skills separately. So first is the adaptive behavior. Now when a particular child or an adult grows up in a particular place, age, gender and socio-economic status or culture specific, there needs to be a few skills which has to be learned by that particular person. Maybe a child, so age appropriate, should be learning out appropriate skills for communication, appropriate skills for gross motor development, fine motor development, should be learning out certain skills. Now once the child learns out those skills, literacy skills as well, once the child learns out those skills, we say that okay, this particular boy or this particular girl behaves out normally. That is in consistency with approximately this 70% of population which he belongs to. So those skills would be called adaptive behaviors. These are social standards. Adaptive skills necessary, developmentally should come and roll up one after another. The moment it doesn't happen, we start saying that the person is having some other type of disability. The second type of skills are the skills known as livelihood skills. The moment a person or a child gets into school or a person gets to work, he or she needs to have some professional inputs so as to execute out his or her work appropriately by certain standards. The school education and the college education which is imparted totally focuses upon these livelihood skills. So an engineer becomes a proficient engineer. A doctor becomes a proficient doctor. A computer engineer becomes a proficient computer or a software developer if the livelihood skills have been well learned by him in the college. But these livelihood skills do not necessitate that a person would be well adjusted in the society. Now we have heard of the suicide of Sushant Singh Rajput, a famous Bollywood actor. If you see, in terms of the adaptive behavior, he had acquired out all the adaptive behavior which were age, gender, culture and socio-economic strata appropriate. Fine. Good communication skills, good literacy skills. He looked out normal, everything perfectly okay. So he had good adaptive behavior. Livelihood skills were perfect because he was a good actor. Many people appreciated his work. He got quite a number of films. Then what happened? Why did he commit out a suicide? Probably the life situations which were coming up on a day-to-day basis, he could not address them based upon the adaptive behavior and livelihood skills which he had acquired out. So it is not necessary that a person having good adaptive behavior and good livelihood skills would be very well socially adjusted. Social adjustment requires out much more. Good livelihood skills means, good adaptive skills means I behave normal. Good livelihood skills means my skills are equivalent to a machine. I can work out efficiently and perfectly like a machine. That means good livelihood skills. But when I am there in the society, every day is a new situation. For example, we are connected through a virtual meeting. We are into a webinar. Now this particular webinar situation in which I can see my face here and I can see multiple number of people, approximately 300 odd participants getting connected on the screen is absolutely a new phenomenon for me. The same phenomenon will not repeat itself anytime again in life. Neither has happened on the exact situation. But the way I respond to it depends 100% upon the life skills which I have acquired. So we go into the definition of life skills. Life skills are actually the connect between education and real life situation. So whatever we have learned out and real life situation, if you can get a perfect connect, then life skills would be good. If you say life skills are predominantly divided into three major categories. First is interpersonal skills, second is cognitive skills, and the third is emotional skills. Interpersonal skills, cognitive skills and emotional skills. If you scientifically further look into it, then there are articles which say that the life skills actually can be divided into 10 basic domains. First, self-awareness, knowing about what I am, what are my boundaries. Second, empathy, trying to understand how the other person feels. Third, critical thinking, thinking about things around and making conclusions by drawing out inferences from past experience. Creative thinking, trying to think something new. Decision making, taking in all the conclusions and choosing out what exactly to do. Problem solving, effective communication. Communication is something which keeps this human race distinct from other animals, and amongst humans, some people who have good communication skills, good soft skills are treated up much more extraordinarily. Effective communication, then comes interpersonal relationships, coping with stress, and finally number 10 is coping up with emotions. So these are the 10 basic life skills which are required to be taught to people, and especially people with disability, especially when it comes to people with autism, mental retardation, who might have, especially children with autism, who might have acquired out number of skills, but just because they cannot execute that, just because people don't feel good along with them, just because they don't respond to situations the way a person should respond out, many of them do not sustain jobs. We keep them in jobs, but usually there will be complaint that no, he doesn't behave properly. He behaves somewhat in odd. When left alone, he does good work. But the moment a group of people are there, we get worried he should not be behaving weird. What does it mean? It means that he has the skills, he has the adaptive behaviors, but the life skills are not adequate enough. These are the 10 life skills. Now, if we see into life skills, one unfortunate thing which has happened is that we start taking up the fact that whatever comes from the West, just a 200-year-old civilization, is the answer. Me, you, here are the representative of a 10,000-year-old civilization. Tamil is a 7,000-year-old documented language. That means minimum some 2 to 3,000 years ago, people here in Kanchipuram, Tamil Nadu would be living. So we have been here for 10,000 years and more. Known history. We must have had enough amount of life skills because of which only this civilization existed amongst so many other civilizations in the entire world. What were they? Were they ever taught in school? Were they ever taught in form of education? Because one of the major concerns is that we don't address life skills in our education. We try converting people into machines because our education system, which has been imported from the West, is actually the outgrowth of the Industrial Revolution, and the Industrial Revolution always wanted good machines to happen. They never wanted human beings with affect. Still that we insist upon learning out much more machinery skills and less on life skills. So have we ever, as the oldest living civilization, addressed life skills? I'll conclude my topic by the fifth point by narrating out what has been done in India with a glimpse so that the teachers, the Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University and Skill Development Center, the teachers out there, we teachers out here slowly start developing it. So the true story or the history goes like this. Some 2,300 years ago, there was a mad person named Alexander who thought of winning everything in the world. Started slaughtering around people when he was 16-year-old. Came across to India, killed out many. But he was stopped by one persistent teacher known as Chanakya, who walked down from Takshashila, which is there in Pakistan, and united India, drove away Alexander. It's not taught to us, but Megasthenes, who was there in Chandragupta's court, writes these down. Once Chanakya finished out, we have heard the story that he unfolded out or he opened up his shikha, let it loose, said that till I unite India into one, that is from Himalayas to Hindu Sagar or the Indian Ocean, Himalayas to Hindu Sagar, Hindustan, that's how the name comes in. Till I unite the entire nation, I will not take rest. So he had opened up his shikha. He trained out a shepherd who used to graze goats, sheep, into the first emperor of India in written history, that is Chandragupta Maurya. Once entire India was united, by the age of 40, I am 45 now, by the age of 40, Chandragupta Maurya took sannyas. He became a Jain monk and renounced everything. And parallelly, Chanakya, who was also known as Vishnu Sarma, his actual name was Vishnu Sarma, went back to start a Gurukul. Now that time, the emperor of Kashi, this particular northern India, had 4 children. Out of the 4, one was normal, so-called normal. The other 3 had some other type of attention issues, learning issues, maybe ADHD in today's name, maybe SLD, specific learning disabilities in today's name, or maybe intellectually impaired in today's name, we do not know. But they had difficulty in learning out in the traditional education mode. So this emperor goes and requests out Acharya Vishnu Sarma or Chanakya that fine, I want to leave all these 4 at your Gurukul and I want you to train them. He requested. Chanakya agreed. And he devised out means, different stories in which he narrated out multiple stories where Multiple skills like self-awareness, empathy, critical thinking, creative thinking, decision making, problem solving, effective communication, interpersonal relationships, coping with stress, coping with emotions, all these 10 life skills, along with law, along with dharma, was, and literacy of course, was imparted to them. These were grouped under various categories of stories and are known as a Panchatantra. So Panchatantras were actually the playway method, the design which was made up so that it could address out all the children, the book in universal design which addressed out one and everybody, addressing all the life skills. We all have heard of that particular story in which a monkey and a crocodile become friends. The monkey throws mangoes to the crocodile. In some places it is blackberries. Throws, the crocodile eats. Both of them become friends. The crocodile takes some and goes home to wife and said, "Look, some mangoes which I have brought in." Wife eats and says, "Who gave you these mangoes? These are on trees. How did you get them?" The crocodile says, "It's the monkey which is on the trees which gave me these mangoes." Wife became greedy and said that a monkey which eats such juicy mangoes, imagine how tasty the liver of the monkey would be. Why don't you bring me the liver? Now wives, when they start nagging you and asking for things, you have to do it. So the crocodile first said no, then agreed to it, thought of a plan, went down, monkey was sitting, gave a few mangoes, crocodile was sad, and monkey asked, "So what happened?" Crocodile said, "My wife is insisting that you should come home, you are such a good friend, but look at the fact that you stay on the tree, I stay in the water, how do we come in?" Both of them talked for some time, then finally the crocodile said, "Okay, I have a plan, why don't you jump and sit on my back and then I swim across into the other side of the river where I have my home at the bank of the river." Monkey said, "Okay, fine, we are friends, we'll go." Monkey jumped up, the crocodile swam, was in between the river, and the crocodile said, "Look monkey, I fooled you out, my wife actually wants to have your liver, that's the reason I'm taking you home." So the monkey was now alerted and he thought of a story. They say, here, coping up with stress, coping up with emotion, creative thinking, critical thinking, decision making, and problem solving. See, now it happens. Now the monkey doesn't get panicked out, stays cool, thinks of a plan, says, "You want the liver? Easy thing. I left my liver in one of the hollows of the tree, so you should have told me earlier. So better take me back." I go there, I take out the liver, I go, happily give it to your wife, she eats it and remains happy, you happy, she happy, me happy, we become friends. The crocodile agreed, turned back, came back, monkey jumped up, said that, "Look, such a fool you are, you got convinced, so did I, even I got convinced." Nobody leaves his liver outside the body. Awareness of self, which the other person didn't have. The first concept is awareness of self. Now, here in this particular story, which is 2300 year old, Acharya Chanakya is imparting out all the 10 life skills which are required for day-to-day living to these children in form of stories which can be appreciated by children with disabilities, without disabilities, by children of any ages, by adults, even depending upon how the story is narrated. I narrated you this story now. That means the story is in universal design, the design which they are talking about. The story is so inclusive that it includes all the life skills into it. Thus, by then, I would like to end out my presentation saying that we have been doing this. We have been taking up life skills into education. That's not a new thing. It is just that after Macaulay, we have revamped out our entire education system as per the Western models. Now it's time to rethink into our own old traditional system of education, take in life skills so that people would be better people. Skills which are required for livelihood skills are also taken up, adaptive skills are also taken up, along with life skills. To conclude, in this presentation I covered up intelligence, I covered up 3 basic constructs. The first is adaptive behavior, normal behavior which are to be acquired. The second is livelihood skills, skills which are taught in schools and college to make us better professionals, that is a better machine. The third is life skills, which are further divided into 10 parts, which need to be learned out so that we become better human beings and a better adjusted individual in the society. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thanks a lot.